You may hear me, you'll definitely hear me, refer to plain English style. What do I mean by that? I mean avoiding nominalizations, which means using clear characters followed by clear verbs. Sometimes people, especially when they're trying to sound smart or, God forbid, technical, will hide the real action of the sentence in what we call a nominalization. For example, number 1, constant usage of technology became one of the possible causes of having lack of concentration, etc., etc. It finally turns out that this sentence, such as it is trying to tell us something about children. So, children should have been the main character at the front end of the sentence. And it seems to be a story about when children use technology. So underline the first 5 words of your sentence. If you can't find a character or a verb, something went terribly wrong. This sentence isn't even grammatical, number 1, the way it starts out, because they got so tied up trying to sound clever. They mean, in plain English, something like, when children use technology, they can lose concentration. Verb, character, verb. They can lose concentration. Or, even better than the ION, the shun, the concentration, they may not be able to concentrate. Right? A verb. When children use technology too much, of course we're using technology right now for a good cause, but when children use technology too much, they may lose the ability to concentrate, communicate, or even enjoy childhood. They meant something like that. It could have been a good sentence. It should have been. It's about something important. But they buried the main character and they buried the verbs. 2, the increase in children's exposure to advertising. Who did what? Always ask yourself that. Who did what? Children aren't just running free in the meadows. Somebody is responsible for those children. Who needs to be in this story? Parents, right? Parents are doing something. So maybe they meant, surely they meant, something like the earlier that parents expose children to ads, the better that advertisers can target those kids. Another effect of video games is the fact that they correlate to obesity. They meant something like gamers may tend to gain weight. You can do this in half this many words, but you need the main character followed by a verb. See what you can do with 4 and 5. And ask yourself, who does what? Who diagnoses ADHD? Who prescribes drugs? Somebody does that. And those people need to be in this story. An important reason for identifying the main character is it tells us who's accountable, who is in a position to help, who can actually do something about what's going on. The idea that there is a created apprehension of sleep deprivation due to, etc. It sounds like this is a story about couples texting at a certain time and the consequences of that. So see what you can do with number 5 and number 4. Avoid those ION words, those words like exposure to, doesn't end in ION, but it's that same kind of word that doesn't tell us who exposed what, who exposed someone to something. In this case, parents let their children see too many ads at too young an age. That's important, but it's hard to see when we make it so confusing. Again, many of you are in sciences where you're asked sometimes to use passive verbs. Use them. That doesn't change the fact that you need your main character at the front of the sentence followed by its verb. Pick the verb you want. Make sure it's a good one. Put it where it goes. Front of the sentence with the main character.